This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the GCU Supervisor's initial meeting. Rather than having the initial meeting at the school, we're going to do it this way so we can go over everything. So if you have questions, I'm going to go over it first. But if you have questions, you can ask questions during that so we can make sure that everybody gets a good start.
Okay.
Now, again, this is who I am. And we're going to be visiting or having a observation at least 4 times for each student. And depending on the program that you're in, some programs are 16 weeks, some programs are 15 weeks, just depending on which program that you're in. The 16-week is a 2 8-week section, and those are students who might have a major in math and social studies. The first 4 weeks can be in math, the second 4 weeks can be in social studies. It can all be in one school, or it might be half in one school and half in another. But maybe half in high school, half in middle, or half in middle and half in elementary, just depending on the program that the student is in. Also, during the welcome night, I also asked for some information from everybody, just so I could have enough information. So if I need to contact the student or the cooperating teacher, I can. If something should come up and I need to counsel or something like that, and I also have my information here. So if you need to call me with the council, you can. Of course, my email address and my telephone number, my home and my cell number. And of course, as as you said earlier, sometimes I'm out and about, and I might be in other meetings and what have you. If you call that home number, my wife answers and take any questions that you might have, or if you call the cell number and I don't answer, either I'm in a meeting or I'm on interstate and I'm between 2 18-wheelers and I'm not going to answer until I get to a safety spot. So, and of course, if you call the number will show up on the phone, and I will return your call as soon as possible. Also, you got from me a tentative site visit. In other words, since they're virtual, they're gonna be, these are the dates that I have set for you, and you can look at it and look at the dates. And if it doesn't work well for you or the school, for instance, if it's a holiday, let me know and we can change it. These are tentative site visit dates, not in cement. So if there's something that should come up, if you get sick, well, God knows there's so many things going on right now. And so many illness. I had my guy coming back to fix my floors, and he and his wife both got COVID. So we're going to have to put that off. So much is going on. So if something should happen, we can change these dates. If there's a mixed match with the with teacher work days or something like that, or something else comes up, we can change the date. Just let me know and we'll make the changes that we need to make. Also, I sent out a letter to you, letting you know about the time logs. Okay, the time logs are pretty much the same. They've changed a little bit. They look something like this. But now the only difference between this one and the one that you should have is over here where you have the keys. They're not up here anymore. They're out on the left side, and everything else is on the right. But the keys are pretty much the same, and it's going to look like this. What you're looking at right now is the 8-week time log. So if you're on 2 8-weeks, where you have math and you're doing social studies, 2 different areas, then this is the one you use. You'll put 8 weeks on, or you'll put 8 weeks on one and 8 weeks on another sheet. However, if you're in the 15-week program, this is the time log that you'll use. Everything is all on one sheet. And of course, the keys would be over here on the left rather than being up here in the top ledger up here. Okay. Notice that the one that's 15 weeks is 70 days are required for the full experience. And for the 16 weeks, each sheet should have 35 to 40 days on it. which with a total of 75 days overall. Also, you should have gotten something from me that looks something like this. This is the virtual process that we're using in order to do the observations rather than coming out to the schools. And I try to make it as simple as possible. We got two methods that we're going to use. We're either going to, you can invite me in using some of the tools like Zoom, some of the others that are out there that you can use in order to invite me in. You send me the invitation with the time and the date, and I'll be on Zoom or wherever I need to be in order to review you during that time. And of course, when you're doing it that way, you want to make sure you have somebody there that can record it and kind of assist you as you do it, so they can kind of follow you around, because you don't want to be just sitting in one place doing it. You want to be up around helping students and what have you, and have it as such so you can be seen moving around the room. So have someone to assist that can record while you're doing what you're doing in terms of the observation. Also, you can also record the observation in advance and send it to me. And of course, either way you do it, you need to send me your lesson plans in advance so I can have the lesson plans available so I can follow along with you as you do your observation. So other than that, you should be okay with doing the observation. Oh, one more thing. And the observation should be at least 30 to 45 minutes long. I understand there are special classes that may only go on 15 or 20 minutes each. In that case, you should do 2 videos. That way you'll have your 30 to 45 minutes in terms of videos for each of your observations. So if you have a classroom where it's a special classroom for whatever reason, and it's only 15 to 20 minutes, then you do 2 observations for 1 observation. You know what I mean? In other words, you have to have enough time to complete 1 observation. So you're actually doing 2 recordings for 1 observation. All right. Also here, you can also get the formative feedback form and the self-evaluation forms. I should have sent you some URLs of the form themselves and an attachment so you could have those forms. The feedback form, the self-assessment, of course, is for the student, and the formative feedback form is for the mentor or the cooperating teachers use if they want to do a evaluation on the student. Also, this is what the self-evaluation looks like for the teacher candidate. It looks like this. And of course, there's no place on it to put your name. So what I want you to do when you send it in, make sure you put your name, the school that you're in, and what have you, down here at the bottom. Because there's no name when they made these. They didn't put a place for your name, the date, and which observation it is. So at the bottom, at the end of it, it's not very long. So at the end of it, you put that information down here just so I'll know who observation it is. Sometimes I may go on and I'll print it out after you email it to me, and I forget who it is that sent it to me, and I don't know who it is because I'm looking at the form and there's no name on it. And that goes as well for the one for the formative feedback form for the cooperating teachers. It looks like this, and it doesn't have anything at the top. So at the bottom, you would tell me who you are in terms of the cooperating teacher. At the bottom, you can write it in here anywhere near the bottom, so I'll know who you are and who sent it and which observation it is. That way I can use it along with what I do and the observation. Also, for the observation forms, the ones that the school uses, this is the professional disposition of learning scoring guide for that observation. And this is what it looks like. You have anything from 0 to 100 points on it. But what you're looking for is an outcome as the student, and is the proficient. This is proficient, observation, and good standing. This is where you need to be. The distinguished is above and beyond the call of duty. Those are people really doing some things, having people in in and out of the classroom as far as experts in areas and that sort of thing. We don't get much of that. But what you're looking to be, you're in excellent shape if you're at proficient, observation, and good standing. If you're there, you're fine. Don't worry about a thing. So that's between 80 and 92, but it won't say that. It'll say proficient. So you're where you need to be when you see that. Also, what you should have received is a copy, just a copy of the actual form and what it would look like. And this is just the top of the form, so you see what it looks like. And of course, it's where you want to be here at proficient, 80 to 92, and of course, distinguishes over here. You don't see many of that. And but if you're here, you're fine at proficient. And that's what it looks like. If you look at it through the whole thing, you're gonna have the questions and what have you that I'm going to be scoring on when I score your evaluation. So you'll have an idea in advance what I'm looking for in that. Virtual observation information. This is talking more in depth about what the student candidate has to do. They have to do 4 evaluations. That's 4 times in order to complete the training. This is that information that you should have received. Also, the 2 options that you have in order to do the observation. Of course, one being the one where you'd invite me in using Zoom, Google, Hangout meeting, or FaceTime, or whatever you got to use, so I can come in and be available, so I can review what you're doing in the classroom for that observation for 30 to 45 minutes. And also the other options, which is the seem to be the favorite, whereas the candidate rather they can record in advance and they can look at it and see that, in other words, you can review and diagnose and look at in terms of how well you're doing. Then if it's not up to par, you can go back and do it again and then send me the one that you want to send to me, the review for that particular observation. In other words, you record it in advance. And on the date that you're supposed to be having your observation, you just make sure you have it to me in advance in an email along with your lesson plan, so I can follow what you're doing. There's also some additional information there in terms of resources and what I'm asking you to do. And of course, the lesson should be include a lesson plan along with 30 to 35 minutes of review time for me to evaluate what you're doing. And of course, the school system may require a permission slip to have students on review in terms of video. And if you go to this site here, the Student Success Center, and if you got that, it has a URL built in. If you click on it, it'll take you to the center so you can get that form and send it out with students to their parents, for their parents to sign. And of course, there's also the post-conference. The post-conference is what we need to do after you do the evaluation. Once the evaluation done, you can do it on that same day in the afternoon, after class, after the kids are gone, and we could talk with the cooperating teacher and the teacher candidate about how well he or she is doing, and we could discuss that at that time and what we might need to do for the next evaluation. Of course, the post-evaluation also, we could also do that like we're doing now on Zoom, or we could just be a plain phone call. You can just call and we'll just do the 3-way on the phone. Of course, I also included in it this information here. It's a URL. If you click on it, it'll take you to the feedback form and the self-evaluation. The feedback form for the cooperating teacher and the self-evaluation for the student candidate. You can also email me what is your preferred email address and phone number, so I have some means to contact you if something should come up. Of course, my email address and telephone number is down below. So if you need to call me for anything to cancel or whatever to reschedule, that's fine. Now, also, I have some question and answer sheet in there. So you'll see some of the questions that most students are asking. So if the question that you have is not on here, then you can just, when we finish here, you can go ahead and ask me at that time. Some of the things that I'm looking for during the evaluation is the classroom environment, the student-teacher interaction within the classroom when you're doing your observation. And the student teacher should follow the lesson plan that they send me. And the lesson itself should include a review of the last lesson, an introduction to the current lesson, and the body of the lesson to include any handout supplies that you might be using during the lesson, and a conclusion and the classroom management, as well as any transitions you may have during the lesson. Okay. Of course, there's some other information here I ask in terms of the classroom schedules that you might have. If you send me a schedule, it'll give me a better idea of what I'm coming to when I come, if I'm going to do the virtual lesson with you while you're in the classroom. And that's pretty much it. We've covered it all in short order. Now, this is the time to ask any questions that you might have, and I'll give it my best shot to try to answer your questions. Anybody have questions?
Nope.
All right, that's fine. That's not a problem because you already have my name and phone number and my email address. If they should come up at any time after this meeting, be sure to give me a call or email me and I'll answer your questions at that time. Of course, I'll record this and I'll send everybody a URL that you can click on and go back and review this. If you have any questions that may be here, you may have just forgotten, and you can come back through and review this a second time if you wish. Okay, is everything okay? Everybody okay with the way we're gonna do it this time?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well then, welcome to the family. We'll get you through this painlessly. So again, if you have any questions, just contact. If they're not at this time, I'll release you and let you go, and you enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there.
Thank
Okay.
you. You too.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.